Before we move forward, I do want to reiterate, if you're looking for the restrooms, they will be on your right. Okay. Along with that, like I mentioned, it's an honor to be here. And so to open up our reception this morning, I would like us to rise for our national anthem. First, we'll do the loud national anthem, and then the national anthem. Tony, should I show it? Sorry. At this time, please remain standing for a moment of silence to remember the late General Bang Pao, as well as our veterans and the many individuals who have sacrificed their lives for freedom. Thank you. You all may be seated. At this time, I'd like to please welcome Tang Bang, who is here on behalf of the Fresno Center for welcoming remarks. So, the Fresno Center.
Pao Yang, our President and CEO at the Fresno Center. It is my privilege and honor to welcome all of you, veterans and families, General Bang Pao's family, to all the dignitaries, all the organizations in here, including sheriff, police, and all clan leaders, and all the community leaders and members. It is truly an honor to have all of you here for this special event that sometimes we forget about our unsung heroes, and that is why today we're here to celebrate and recognize them. They are a very significant part of our veterans or our heroes' lives. Nhớ trong trên này chất sĩ, cú ya cánh là cú ya từ thích theo nhớ trong lúc chế vào có món là nhớ là the First Center là cú và suy chế đâu là bỏ ra là giờ bây từ bắt hàng thế bây từ thích cho nhớ trong First Center. Chú sẽ và在岛内成立做组呢，哇，去还当初你做工都做，贴做技能，落咗你做话技能lên để lo là phần vào bỏ,落咗俾咗话cho nó cho chữ thành thôi nhớ hồ sinh California nó, chạy cho俾咗话tôi cảnh sự chạy share là hay đâu cho phải đi chơi, rồi share, theo share rồi bé cho nó cho话chạy cho bé cho cho người sa la phơi cho cái đi là sa la phơi là cho cuộc cùng họ thế thành thọ đồ bé cho bé sự thành thọ này chúng ta dùng xe khó hay thì bé rầu giờ bé nó mà bé tôi khó chỉ tên giờ im chỉ tên vì hay giờ tôi rầu bé có được bây giờ cũng cho nên từ chỉ bé chỉ nhà phá thì bé cũng bây giờ bé nhưng mà bây giờ cũng cho thế giờ đâm đó bây giờ nó khó chỉ tên bé dù anh dọc sau lại thế nó là bé dù hạt sau lại này. Thank you. What's your name?
To help Chini to present this to Mr. Peng Wang. Okay, Colonel Lorenzo, Sheriff Zanoni, and State Assembly Dr. Hoken Arambala.
I would like to welcome Chervang, who is the president of the SGU Veterans and Families of the California chapter.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for taking your Saturday morning to be here to honor our veterans, their spouse, and also our Hmong American, young Hmong American who are serving the United States or in the military today. I know that your weekend is very important. You work from Monday to Friday, and some of you work in the evening as well, but you take the time here to honor our veterans, and thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And also thank you very much to Chining, who is the son of General Vang Pao, who traveled from Orange County just to be here to support us, and also Txog and families. He's also one of our General Vang Pao's son who's here. And I will not be able to recognize every one of you because you all are important. So I'm going to recognize that some of you represent the community. So we are recognized up into not just any the first one is Dr. Hoken Arambala, who is our California State Assembly. And Colonel Lorenzo Rios, who is the CEO at Providence Memorial District, if I say correctly. He was a colonel in the Army. And we also have Sheriff Zanoni. We know he is very busy, but he takes his time to be here to support us. And Congressman Jim Costa is not here yet. He's going to be here, and Mayor Jerry Dye is going to be here, as well as a council member Nelson Esparza will be here later. But we have Boaz, who is assistant to the congressman. And he's the one that whenever I call, day or night, he answers. And his answer is always, don't worry, Chair. I worry, but he said, don't worry. Thank you very much. And this event is to honor our veterans and also the spouse of the veterans. I think that this is the first time where we recognize the spouse of the veterans of the SGU who fought during the Laos Secret War. And not all the spouses are here today. Only a few. Some are aging there, cannot be here. I see that this woman played a significant role during the war. Without their spouses, their husband, or our SGU soldier would not be able to hold the freedom of Laos from 1961 to 75. Because they were the one who raised the children and also work in the field, raising crop, animals, to make sure that their children are well fed. And also took these children to school while their husbands are fighting in the battlefield. And they are our backbone, and they are our heroes. 你叫我半年他跟你说出来，你要叫半年糊涂着，我你下就只要，因为你叫拿到太低了嘛，是要你插手了。Okay? Only those who were married to our SGU soldier before 1975, please rise and give a hand to these ladies. Thank you very much. In addition, I want to salute our young Hmong American military for continuing the legacy of their parents. And they know that the freedom and democracy and this American flag is very important. So they continue serving this country, protecting our freedom, democracy for this beautiful, great country. Thank you. 都被人好多咗，又要係嗰班人哋急錯過，有冇呢？I don't know. Each year we have less and less veteran here. Each year we have less and less veteran. 嗰班人哋錯過的是天后問題。我就當你的那家班人，要一家是讓8年就死。nhà lính này tòa bên tù nó cũng bao nhiêu ta, thế thì nhà lính này có lên vác phong, này captain và này nó trong gia thọ này có mình đã tung bỏ va, này có mình đã và này nó nhà lồng va thế này ở bên tù nó mà lính này trong cũ và này tụi chỉ ít tụi nặng bên bóng dòng xỉa lại thế, này cho trong tù thế thì bố trai ở bên tù này nó xưa cũng bao nhiêu ta là này giả gì cũng mọi example là rồi này xưa này thì cho trong cơ vì môn này nhà lính này thay nên phun bạc bỏ là tí dạng rồi thì lại cho nó yang cho chỉ rõ thế thì bây giờ thì tổ tàu tới chờ blo chỉ bóng chuẩn thần ít sẽ cho bộ xe chỗ chi bóng cảnh mường ở bây giờ thì ta giờ cho thì bây giờ ta đã chỉ vì cảnh mường giờ thì là ở châu nó ít thì cũng mới giờ sự kiện tụi này ta chỉ mà thầu cũng mới rồi chỉ bao để ôn đi trả để tôi bóng bê là để nó này cho tụi xe thiệt quệ mà ta cao rồi xong ta nó cũng mở bây tôi bây giờ sẽ chứng gì của là bóng sẽ chỉ bố trong xe để cho sẽ chứng gì của giờ cho bóng bê nó là nên cho sáng tại giờ ít bia thì mỗi chỉ là của bà cái này thâu lên tới chỉnh mua tiền dạo của giờ trả tờ chỉnh tiền cái bê ta chỉ bố chỉ sáng mỗi giờ nào bố chỉ lúc giờ ít chỉ giờ lên tới bê ta cao qua thì ít rồi giờ của hệ thống của xài mình cái bất tí rồi bê cho nó chưa có nó. Okay, let's give a big hand to our officials who are here this morning to support all of you. Please rise at this table.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. God bless America and God bless you all.
So our next speaker is someone who traveled quite far, I would say, 4 hours from Southern California to be here with us today. He is the son of the late General Vang Pao. So, Lucia no ta cho do Chineng Bao he big si tana from ba bong the dunza.
xa cho nhà chắc gì cho nó cho qua tây cử tây 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 năng tây trà tây phong tây. I would like to extend warm greetings to all the elders, our veterans, our distinguished guests, our elected officials, officials of our law enforcement departments and agencies, and those who serve in the armed forces of the United States of America or our veterans of the United States military today, our entrepreneurs, our business owners, our entire community who's here today. As always, the family of General Vang Pao is always honored to be at events such as this one today. And it is true, in our country, we have a day for veterans to remember them and their service and sacrifice. And then notably this year, as a consultant in both veteran organizations, they reached out to me and said, we wanted to acknowledge the role of the Hmong women, not just in times of war during the Vietnam War, but in times of peace and the critical and pivotal role they play in our communities, not just then, today as well. So, cho nên chắc chỉ cái bố tôi cho chư sinh không nói giờ cho nhà trí nè, nên sẽ được sợ cái tôi cho tan họ nè, nên ta có sợ ý rộng gì để bé giờ nắp thử này bây giờ ta có mua tiền rồi này. I'm going to ask all our veterans, men and women, to rise again, because these are our heroes that were here today. Trong năm đầu tới đây, cho nghĩa chắc gì, cho phó cho gia đình này, cho gì là muốn này, cái luôn này cái giấy thật đó, anh ấy cũng bảo bỏ, là cho muốn nó, cái luôn này có cho lúc cái kiểu xe ở bên nó giờ bị muốn này nè, lúc nó cái đáp thử này, cái giờ cho này, cái vấn đề của cháu, cụ chỉ giờ ít khó lo của lý cha thì lúc nó, ở lúc còn học cô tụt to. Là cùng một chi phí nào là dọn cho nghề cho nên chắc gì từ chết từng gì qua nghề cho nên trong tàu nè thay cho nên cho nên dọn tàu. Secondly, I also want to thank the two Hmong veteran organizations who are hosting. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a day for Veterans Day, and then today with the highlight of the role of the women, we also have Mother's Day. But the Hmong story is not told enough, not just in our community here, not just throughout our country, but the world. And many folks don't know about the Hmong story, so it's important to continue to teach that story. So this event was meant to be informative and educational as to how we all came together as a family, as a community, and as a country, and as a people. And the Hmong story, again, this may be repetitive to a few of our dear friends, our elected officials, but I'm going to highlight some of the mentionable parts of Hmong history. How the Hmong in a foreign land in Southeast Asia became Americans before they even reached American soil. And that started with the Eisenhower administration. He was termed out, so he was on his way out of the White House, and a newly elected John F. Kennedy was going to assume the White House. And Eisenhower told Kennedy that your most concerning issue in policy is going to be the containment of the spread of communism throughout the world, holding back the Soviet Union and China. And importantly, Southeast Asia is going to be a critical theater that the United States of America is going to have to defend and protect. So it was under the Kennedy administration, right, when he assumed office in January, for General Vang Pao. And he had a reputation because my father had served under the French against the Imperial Japanese before. So when the US was going to approach Southeast Asia, they consulted their allies in Europe, and France said, hey, you know, there's a group called the Hmong. You know, they're not Laotian, they're not Chinese, they're not Vietnamese, but these are some tough warriors, and look for a particular individual called Vang Pao. Okay. He's not an easy guy to find because he's up in the mountains and the hillsides of Laos, but this is the to-go guy. So it took Bel Air almost a week to find my father and make contact with him. And so in January of 1961, on the 10th, Bel Air and my father shook hands, forging an alliance that my father would lead the Hmong and ethnic Lao groups in the name of freedom, in the name of the United States, under this banner, to fight on behalf of U.S. interests in Laos. So as President Butcher said earlier, 1961 to 1975 was the timeline the U.S. government and the CIA has well documented the service of the Hmong American veterans who are here today, our elders, and many of them have already passed on, sadly enough. But the ones that are still here, this is why we commemorate them on events like this. Because on Veterans Day, we're commemorating every branch of the United States military and all those brave men and women who served our country and paid the ultimate sacrifice. So it's events like this on an off day where we acknowledge the Hmong American contribution to freedom and to the United States. And so to our veterans, Hmoob, Veterans Day. She went to picture what on the India, the Bill on the taught by the Kimika and Hall. If she pay Hmong King, she pay Danny Gatsy, Lawyer Bay, the Pay Hmong Nation, the big Lupong Bay. The big one who now all Lupong Ho. Tell the lot that you bought long, tell your daughter long, tell me Janet that you got long. A picture, not thing a lazy, Yellow, a bit too. She sang here that not that you have to pay. The she hot who what good the picture with the tone that the picture can put up or more non giống thế là non giống lửa toàn không nói thế là về liên kết tới sĩ tàu này vấn đề giờ tôi cũng sau để cho bé cho lên trong tù để sử dụng nó chỉ một bé lâu lần sau để so sánh thế nó rồi này cho nên giờ thì cứ giờ thì cho nên giờ ra bé sẽ được rong xe này bé bỏ hay tiền giờ bé sẽ cũng cho đi nó vì sao đi ở lúc cũng học vô tôi cho nó sẽ cũng đi nó đây cứ đây thì lúc sinh để chỉ thành phần hay bé cho đâu và trong một câu bé ý hay nên không bây giờ bé ý hay nên không sẽ cũng tao liềnนู่นnó và ít họ bỏ thôi và tao ít tu养giữ và tao ít họ bỏ thêm这都得保护呢，都得能得去保护呢。古วันนี้คือวันนี้都古末些古应还好考试的，现在也被教导了那么样当的是，被应要么样做到这路好天了。我得那得知路呢，天着被狗被着被天了。我得讲好的，让我现在听不到这那种被说，我那得年得知我路保证，叫开被。thầy về và cho đa cho rõ một là được truy lắp là nó nên bỏ cho tuân sai mâu sợ khó nó một đấy trả học cái xã lực thiệt nó giờ cái sợ đầu lo cho lo hôn giờ đi đây ngày đây chỉ qua tàu chỉ chế giờ cái tên vợ bây giờ là trừ thiên cả và bên phong luôn nên dây ít thằng của nhà bản đây lúc nó cái chỉ thằng này phần chỉ nhỏ là được lúc yên công nhân bỏ nhà đầu tây được lúc nên bỏ nhà đầu tây được lúc phi chỉ nhà đầu tây nên cho thu trò tàu của hải thế nên cho tây cho thấy chỉ phải cho phép yêu cinema rong đâu ấy là sẽ được tiêu được nên cho lắp sai với đây chờ nên cho lắp sai từ là như vậy là thằng bạn người cả tôi tự nhiên là chọn cái gì tôi có ship cái gì tuổi thọ bây giờ hai thọ tuổi tôi chỉ là bên mong lo được cái tuổi thọ thì chỉ bây giờ đã lo tuổi tôi bây lúc đây phải chơi tôi giờ đây phải chơi tôi ít lúc đang ở mình mà cần đâu cần đâu cần chơi cần chơi tôi mua sao bỏ lúc này ở mình không được đây nào giờ thì mua cái gì thằng này còn thế này cái người ta chỉ cho nó thọ cho hậu tiền đó để tao cũng để này cái cái thế này ấyวันนี้จะจ้องนั่งตอนนั้นคนนั้นจะตาmất cái cả nắp thử đầu nàyจะพูดทุกตรงนะแล้วก็cáiเนี่ยจะสินี่จะคือจะตีสิทะเลคนจะทุกตรงCIAนั่นพวกเราก็ให้มองแค่ก็ให้มีกัน I know these events can be lengthy speeches may be lengthy but I'm gonna summarize and wrap it up real quick here too. So as we acknowledge and commemorate the pivotal role help their husbands tend to the families, to the kids, and yes, to the farms because the Hmong cultivated many crops. before the war. But in times of war, yes, the Hmong women also played a pivotal role as auxiliary units. Let's be known to the public that there's documentations of Hmong women carrying ammunition, artillery shells from the drop zones that the U.S. cargo planes would airdrop into Laos, and the Hmong women would carry these weapons, ammunition to the front lines where the men were fighting. So they and they contributed greatly to the war effort that we withheld and withstood the communist forces for 15 years. And that was quite successful to many of the war analysts and war strategists and U.S. military commanders who kind of doubted that the Hmong and General Vang Pao would be able to execute, but they did it. But it would not have been possible without the role of the women. And so we acknowledge them today. And so to our dear guests, our elected officials, you're the highlight of today. We're going to listen to your remarks to our community and to our veterans and to the elders in our community today. And again, it is always an honor and pleasure for us as a GVP family to be here to represent the late General Vang Pao, but we're all one family, so I know it's good to see new friends, old friends, but you're all dear friends and brothers and sisters of mine. So thank you very much for having our family here in representation. And as President Boycho said, may God continue to bless all of our veterans and servicemen and women in the armed forces currently, actively. God continue to bless our elders, our law enforcement agencies and departments who serve here in our public safety in our community, and then to our sponsors here today too, all the business owners, entrepreneurs, and most notably our elected officials who represent us, who are our voices in different parts and apparatus of government. So thank you all for being here today, and may God continue above all to bless our United States of America. Thank you.
Nói chung tôi chỉ đào về chỉ qua chỉ về chuẩn qua luôn là ba quan làm được nhẹ chỉ về chỉ luôn cho sao được nhẹ. Ok, đây cứ chỉ nên qua trong đầu và cao cứ cả tôi đi tôi cả chăm nhiều thế là các chuyện mong mong tu hồi lâu hồi thay các bạn mong mong tu tôi họ là giờ ít họ về trong điện thoại gì sẽ được chỉ trong có thế lý trí này nè nó là liệu cứ tôi thì chỉ cho đó về thì tôi chỉ tao là về giờ vấn đề lý trí này của trong thọ chỉ thay cái phần bắt bỏ cho có thể tu phong công một chỗ để cho cứ sẽ được thì cái này.
nhớ rong ít trong nhà chỉ cái tên cha nó nhà bà bị nhớ họ ta là Asia supermarket ta chỉ nó bé mua ít cho cha rộng lêตัวเตะไทยตัวจอเลยยังแต่เนี่ยตื่นสาตาเราหูจอไปก็ปอนึงรอจำเลยเนอะจะตื่นตีจะสุดเตอเป่าจะร้องจะเนี่ยสินะจิตาเล่นเดอนึกจะช่วยอีชาเนี่ยฉันจะเทียท thầu nữ rõ tôi cho chú nó tự ta lo chỉ cho xua nó có cho là rõ cho sáng giả nó chỉ nữ tự cho mò cho không mà mò chỉ có cho một bút hồ cho bùa lô cho cái lô rồi nhưng tàu tàn thò lên ok chỉ ta lên đó đó lúc chả nó là như này sẽ xí rõ bất cứ rồi nhưng tàu tí xí nên cho nên chỉ cái tên cha nhá là chế từ sát tàu cho nhau để cho nhau dễ na khu cho của tụ sát tông của luôn bây giờ Barbie của tụ sát tông này à chi chua tàu y gì bay plau ở plau là giờ thì có hút tàu cũ nó chỉ có hút cho trả phòng lì nữa tụ sát tông này à chi chua y ở plau tàu xa tàu nhớ rõ ít trong này chỉ cái tên cha nó bây giờ Barbie của tụ họ ta là Asia Supermarket nhà họ Fresno California tụ khi cho nên cho nên chỉ cái tên cha nhá là chế hay thì anh em mua cái như xe ít xe kê nó là khi cho nên bao hay thì phải mua ít cho thấy đồng thứ xua nhau có tuột bên tới chấm lo tuột nào nữa cho thấy này cho thấy đồng thứ xua thì tiền khi cho nên bao hay thì cho lo cho đa cho mê cho đấy là phải mua tàn thò cho xì design lia rồi cho xì đu rồi là mua cho xì đa rồi là mua phải mua tao giả design cho nên nhà cho xử lý cho ô đi ban đầu trở là nó luôn là cho ô đi cho ba là nó luôn thì cho nên bao lên đó là cho ấy những chỉ mua chỉ đi kia cho plain thế simple là nó số là những mua cho nên nó như thế này từ mua cái nhiều xe là ít xe tiền là để hỗ trợ của tổ sát tông này chỉ cho ý gì bây plau của lúc bây giờ Barbie giờ là có hỗ trợ cũ nó là hỗ trợ trả phần liền nó nè nụ ta sát tông này chi chua gì ốp lo trâu xa trâu cũng cho nên phải sau bây giờ lấy là nó muốn đau luôn á chỉ là thế ốp bên luôn là nó sẽ có bỏ phụ sang là nó cũng muốn đau luôn chỉ ta lên đó luôn thì tận đây nó cũng trở to đi chỉ cho tự luôn gì thế khi cho nên bao đó cái này chỉ cái tên cha như là chế cho nhau đây nhau gì cho nhau Sacramento Merced thêm Modesto thêm Visalia rồi nhau họ từ giờ thế này sát tàu bây giờ đồng khi xóa hay nó nè để hút tôi cho khi cho nên bao đó cái tủ sát tông này của tủ sát tông kia xí chi chua cho ý gì bay plau là hút cho trả phòng liền chi chua gì plau cho xa cho nên hút cho nên xa sau nó gì mà đây cái phôi mình cho nên tua cho là họ chờ mua cho thấy nó kia để mà khi lúc họ cho nên tôi sau hay nên nhiều lúc từ nên mà tôn chùa họ nên tôn nên đi trà nó kì cái món lần đầu giả design như là nó để khi cho nên chỉ cái tên nên trà cho một cái như xe hú mà ba nên mà sửa hay ba tàu đi trà hú cho vấn đề cho biết thả mà tôi khi lúc chế cho nên sau
late General Bang Pao, and to lead that honor, I will ask for Captain Txog Yang Tao to come and lead us. Để thảo cho tôi Captain Txog Yang Tao như chọn thế.
Cô ta chờ cái này chắc chỉ công rằng sông đua công rằng và yên sẽ tên tên là Bishop Việt Nam là Bất Thanh Cộng hội SGU Bất Thanh ngồi chơi cái lo nói rồi Thành bộ chợ thế nhà cử chỉ nênท่านในปนกุศลเจอเป้เดินเนี่ยจะจีอ๋อย่อรู้ตัวเจนนะเป้เฉลิมเสริมตันรอย่อ
To all of our elected officials who are currently here and the representatives, or if you can join us up here too. Yeah.
ส่งผู้ดูจอAGO ลาเวนทรันบ้าเกชิตาโอชาจอตู้จอตัวจอเป้เฉลิมเจอยาดีท่านในปนก็จีก็ยาตูโอตุนไหนตัวจอจงมุ่งตัวจรถได้จอเมกานาก็จอเป้เฉลิมเจแล้วก็มันเอาแต่จุดดูย่อนู่นน่ะจอรู้งานโอเคยงเสียจอจอโอตุจอโอจงมุ่งตัวเสียย่อที่จะหมู่เลยก็จอนาฬิพลทหารขั้นเกณฑ์ขั้นเชียฝ่ายข้าราชการตำรวจพลทหารต่างๆที่ชีวันทำการงานเสริมก็แต่ชีวิตรู้สึกเดียวเลยนู่นน่ะเป็นว่าตัวนี้จะรู้จะมองขนาดนั้นในพลก็จะในชีวิตเราหน้าเราเมื่อเดียวเมื่อเจอเยอะชั่วก็น่าป้าป่วยส่งผู้ทุจริตส่งเนี่ยส่งจีวันนี้ต้องการดูน่ะเรามันตัวจะผู้ทุจริตSU เป็นที่นั่นเนี่ยตัวที่จะอเมริกาเนาะตัวลูกของผู้ทุจริตนะก็เนี่ยตัวที่เขาเยอะคือเขาป้าว่าแต่ก็วันเนี่ยวันจีก็ตัวเจ้าตัวมุ่งตัวตัวที่เจอเนาะอยู่ที่ท่าชิเกอร์อย่างนี้เราหน้าเราใช้คนเราตัวเด้อท่านในคนเราป้อนเราพวกเอาพันหนึ่งบอกเราเนาะเราหมูเตี้ยเพียจีลงก็ต้องมาเช็คหมดตรงดูตาป้าเตี้ยจะพอใหญ่ยงเอาพันหนึ่งบอกจีแต่ตัวแต่ในคนก็หายว่าแต่จุดดูเราเจาะกุ้งจ่อหมูเราจงมุ่งได้เราจะจงผู้ทุจริตเป็นSU เป็นตัวกันหน้าตาหูได้เชื่อกับตัวเอาการเชื่อกับตัวน้อเนี่ยตัวเจสิจ้าเจตัวนี้สิจ้าตัวต่างได้เชื่อได้แต่การเชื่อเขาก็ยังก็ตัวเจ้าตัวจีหมู่อีไปน้อไอ้เราไอ้ข้าวน้อยไอ้เดี๋ยวเนี่ยที่ไหนคนเนี่ยเราเราได้เจอเนี่ยเจชั่วก็คงกู้จังหมูตัวเจชั่วน้อยยังได้ติดต่อเขาเลยกับกุ้งของมันกับลูกเจนตั้งตัวนี้กับตัวที่เขาต่างได้เชื่อได้แต่การเชื่อเขาก็ไม่เชื่อเลยย้อนลงแต่ก็ยังไอ้มองดูจ้าท่านในบนไอ้เจ้าก็เราหน้าเราจ้าท่านเนี่ยจะสิเราหน้าเราไอ้หัวกระโจมไอ้ก็ยังตรงลูกกดไทยกับเป้เฉยๆนะยอดตัวนี้สุดใจได้ตัวนี้สุดใจชวนเนี่ยท่านในบนก็เป็นเจ้าเนี่ยจะชั่วไอ้ที่ในปุ่มของผมไอ้เขากับเจ้าน่าจะชื่อว่าช่วยเย็นในต้นนั้นแล้วอีกหนึ่งอีกข้อแล้วตัวเราที่เราช่วยจ่ายที่สักแล้วก็แล้วเดี๋ยวก็รู้ก็ควรได้เจ้าช่วยเราเป็นที่เราอีรู้นะ
So let me quickly translate what Captain Chong Tao has just, I'm pronouncing things English in Americanized, asking the blessings of the late General Wang Pao for all of us here today. So as he passes out these drinks, it is the blessings from General Wang Pao and good luck from General Wang Pao as well. So to all our elected officials, may I make a side note, just do what you can. Okay? So, bottoms up, that's great. If not, I understand. Yeah, we want to pass it out.
Yes. 这是什么 Congressman.
Đấy, bây giờ cô tu trò cô nà cứ giờ nà cô nên chúa trừ vang cô bù nè cho ôn nà luôn nên mà người sử dụng gì nè cho ôn nà nè cứ tân tăng để cho ôn chỉ để cho chỉ rồi tôi để cho chỉ lau cứ bố mồ tu trò tỏ sáng trò bố mồ ít tết lên nụ để bố bao bố tết lên nụ để xin mẹ tết lên nụ tao vang tao chế mà tao chăng bố tết lên nụ lên mẹ tu mình nhô mẹ tu vang tu chế mẹ tại tao khó nhô hôm bây vang tu chế mà bút chỉ ấy tu thay tu trò để những mô để tu trò từ ô tu trò rồi bút chỉ à để bố yên rồi bên nhau quý anh chỉ bảo ta sao bé một bữa chơi tụi trò rồi bên nhau quý anh chuyện dây dao được xem mà quý anh chúng ta một day tụi con nên luôn tụi bên nhau chỉ bảo được xem mà ta giờ tụi gì giờ tụi trò xưa là phải có tụi bên nhau để tôi chống vào đây trang nó cũng nãy như tụi cứ ôm băng cái nó cái hậu được phố thái thời được phố xuân thái thời được phố bự chỉ tăng nên là cái một cái thô kiểu này của hai người chỉ bảo này là có những tôi chủ là cái lúc chế những chỉ coi em có cứ tao lên nó tiếng giờ bị ta mới chọn nải nhưng giờ cái sáng lúc sáng tới từ ta đây quân tranh lại ta giờ mới chọn cái nải giờ ta mới lúc sáng chỉ tới để ôi tao lên nó này thì mà mấy giờ cái sáng lúc sáng tới sáng rồi mình sao tao để lên tiền nhang bỏ lên nó em mới chọn cái chọn giờ ta chỉ muốn mấy nó để tiền bao giờ lúc chờ nó nhưng để ta bố mà bố giờ cứ ôi gì cho ôi tí cho tôi mà tôi cho ta là chơi bóng đá nhưng chỉ cả rồi họ có bao tài nhau tận chơi dù còn nhau này hay àแต่ชิมาโมเม่ละเนาะแต่โปโลชาสเลกังดิแต่บ่แต่nhau tận chếเนาะแต่ส่วนตึกเล็กๆหนูเนี่ยตอนเช้ยังอยู่ตาสิเออไม่ใช่ตัวเจ้าลุงน่ะอีตัวนี้โยนน่ะคือแต่ผู้ดูจอเนาะแต่ชิโมอยากตอนชีเลยจุโมตัวลุงเขาแต่ไม่ใช่ตัวเจ้านะสินี่ขอเนาะแต่สังคือ民主開到俾出嚟包，俾我呢度嗰啲佢喺度將來做用俾蒙係人，就係但你只喺度都做咯，你喺度面用嚟就都做，誒你官人個做俾車嚟嘅，但你出包咯，開到俾出嚟包，誒 director 包翻佢嘅 director 到老 family， 然後做俾出嚟車嚟嚇。At this moment, I just wanted to acknowledge the recent passing of a gentleman in our community. Although he's not a veteran, he is a remnant of the veterans. And he has served the Hmong community for many years as director of the Lao family. And it's sad to announce the passing of Hao Feng, a former director of the Lao family in Fresno here. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce our guest speakers. The Koob Fellowship is all who they are to your Haluno. Sometimes to Haluno, they are making power and good. Near the point you could do big among, and near the point you could take the new down to she look bang, card of big among that. Big among you changing on her. Near to be no fellowship, near to put down the first speaker here is truly a friend of the Hmong community. His work has speak loudly that he is a friend of the Hmong community. And I am honored to be introducing our first guest speaker, United States Congressman Jim Costa. Please put your hands together.
Good morning. Good morning. It's indeed my pleasure to be here with the honor of the STU and the families. For this morning, today, we honor not only this incredible representation of Hmong veterans, their families as well. As I say, a grateful nation can never ever say thank you enough. But when we say thank you for your sacrifices, and for those who are no longer with us, we say thank you to the families, because the families sacrifice as well. And so it's fitting and appropriate today as we gather here upon the almost 50th anniversary next year, when the diaspora of 150,000 Southeast Asian, primarily Hmong families, had to leave their home. And it was a long journey that you've made and your families. But we honor you here today in memory of all that you sacrificed and those that are no longer with us. So, as your member of Congress, with my colleagues here, our assemblyman and the sheriff and other distinguished guests that we have, we're here to pay tribute to the members of the SGU and your families, because a grateful nation can never say thank you enough. So we have tried to help over the years. The spirit of General Vang Pao is always with us, right? And not only do we have his spirit that is with us, gives us inspiration, but his family. And we're very pleased to have the General's family here with us this morning. Because for those of us who knew him, for those of you who served with him, we will never forget his desire to have the ability for the Hmong people to cherish the freedoms that they deserve. And so you are here today reflecting the spirit of General Vang Pao and all that he hoped for the Hmong families. Think about that. He had a dream. He told us many times, told me what he hoped for the Hmong communities as they resettled in their new land. And he would be very proud, I know, of each and every one of you and what you and your families have achieved. You've achieved the American dream. For we are a nation of immigrants, past and present. And every group of immigrants that have come to this country make a difference. You make a difference. You add value to the fabric of America. So I'm here today, this morning, in the spirit of General Vang Pao, on the eve of the 50th anniversary, to recognize the families and the soldiers. The families and the soldiers. Because we can never ever say thank you for your willingness to stand up with Americans over 50 years ago in what was a very, very difficult time in American history and in Thailand and the Hmong family's history, Southeast Asia. So it's fitting and appropriate today that we say thank you. And we honor the men and women, the families who have made a difference. So we have other speakers here who certainly want to add their thoughts. But it's the sacrifices of the SGU and the commitment you have given to future generations, and now we see the future generations here, that will add richness, add value to the story of the American dream. For each and every one of you are a part of it. So we say thank you. We say thank you. And we say thank you so very much. So we will present certificates at the appropriate time, I'm told. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of this morning's program to join with my friends and our honored guests.
And especially championing the cause of our Hmong veterans in the U.S. House of Representatives. Đặc biệt là cho đội của Tư Hành.
Congressman. Thank you for that speech. Communication transcends language, and this is truly an act of that. Congressman, we'll ask you to be here with us a little bit more. At this time, we would like to honor the armed services veterans and current members of the armed services of the United States military, but these are individuals of Hmong descent. Cho nói về cho cái team Hmong cho tu Hmong cứ ô tu trò cho hú tha hành đi cả về cứ sáng sớm lúc hỏi nó đủ hỏi ô ha cứ ô bớt chọn rồi bớt tiết lên cho nó cứ bớt ăn nó ô được đấy. Sergeant First Class Mia Lee. SPC Danny Lee. Sergeant Paul Hyung. Sergeant Va Her. SPC Tu Lee. Sergeant First Class Soo Hyung. Sergeant First Class Gu Hyung. SSG Cheng Hyung. SSG Dao Vang. Sergeant Tim Lee. Sergeant Michael Lee. Sergeant King Lee. Petty Officer B. Vang. And truly. Thank you, Congressman. Sacramento. At this time, I just want to introduce our next speaker. He not only plays a doctor on TV, but he's really a doctor. So put your hands together for a State Assembly member, Dr. Walker Lamb.
Well, it's great to see so many of you again. It's an honor to be here celebrating the SGC's contribution to our great country. And I'm appreciative that we have this opportunity to take the time to thank the veterans and their spouses for their contributions during the Secret War. We heard from General Vang's family that the Hmong story is not told often enough. For many of us who are from this region who grew up here, we've heard that story, but we agree with you that it's not told often enough. And so we need events just like this so we can inform those of us who are in the legislative bodies on how we can improve and continue to educate. I'd point out, if I could, the opportunity we have right here in Fresno Unified with our interim superintendent, Misty Herr, and the work that I've done with your groups in the past for us to create a model curriculum for how we can educate the next generation about what occurred during the Secret War. But to do that, we're going to need those of you with lived experience, those of you who are still here, to memorialize the events that occurred within your life. And so I'm so grateful that we're here at ADHC, Adult Day Health Center, that actually cares for those of us who are getting older. a place where we can address many of the traumas that can occur when we are in wars. And so I'm appreciative to see so many women who have been the backbone of our families, who are the backbones of our communities, also getting the recognition that they deserve. Oftentimes, they might not have been on the front lines, but they were fighting with us every step of the way, and their contribution needs to be honored and recognized. I'm grateful that we have time in our community to come together to have these events so we can tell the Hmong story again and again. I look forward to how, when we are telling this story, what we're also telling is the American story. Because I hear the dreams and the potential and the future generations who continue to serve. We hear that the apple does not fall that far from the tree. You should be proud seeing that next generation who are willing to put on the uniform and to continue to fight for our country. I'm appreciative of all that I've been able to learn from you about the Hmong story. I look forward to how we can elevate and continue to tell the Hmong story and how you make our country a better place. Thank you for allowing me to participate today.
State Assemblyman Joaquin Arambula, you've always been a dear friend, a dear brother in the community, notably today representing the Hmong as our voice and representation in Sacramento. So on behalf